Hey guys, TJ here. I'm signing back on to Phoenix Wright Attorney Trilogy. Yeah. Second trial. On guard is guilty of hiring the killer to assassinate his rival. And Gumshoe's trying to find Maya so we can actually get that guilty verdict that On Guard absolutely deserves. Court is now in session for the trial of Matt On Guard. The defense is ready, Your Honor. The prosecution has been ready for a while, Your Honor. Now, as I recall, we concluded yesterday's session with a big mystery on our hands. The mystery being what exactly was Miss Andrea Andrews' role in this murder? That's to say, is she really connected to the crime itself? Mr. Edwards, if you'd please inform the court of today's proceedings. Adrian Andrews. She forged evidence that threw suspicion onto Mr. Ongard, and then proceeded to escape the crime scene by wearing a nickel samurai costume. The guilt of these actions are those from which she cannot escape. Then you're saying that she's guilty after all? I'm not finished, Your Honor. Miss Andrews has nothing to do with committing the actual murder. I would like to direct the court's attention to this card. What is that? It looks like a shell. This is the calling card of a certain assassin. Assassin, you say? Yes, Juan Corrida was killed by a professional assassin. And the person who hired the assassin, his client, so to speak, is Matt Ongard. What a surprising turn of events. I would think it's become commonplace by now, Your Honor. I know what's going on this time, so I know that everything Edgeworth has said is true. But we still have to hold out as long as we can. At least, until Maya's safe and sound. I wonder how the trial will turn out today. Now then, please call your first witness, Mr. Edgeworth. The prosecution calls the defendant's mentor, Mr. Will Powers, to the stand. You were his mentor? Did you ever mention that? I don't remember you ever mentioning that. Now then, witness. Your name and occupation, please. Okay. I'm, Will Powers. I'm a poor, underpaid action star. And what is your relation to the defendant? Well, I guess I'm sort of a lousy mentor to him in a way. Yeah. Mr. Powers, please, you don't need to put yourself down so much. Oh, sorry. Oh, but I'm just kind of a nothing sort of guy. On the night of the murder, you visited the defendant's room. Is this correct? Yes. I didn't know that. But, you know, I didn't actually get to see Matt when I went. All you needed to do was answer what you're asked. Now then, I would like you to please testify about when you went to Mr. Ongard's room. Okay, sure. Poor Powers. After the awards ceremony, I went by myself to Matt's room. Matt was standing there in front of his room, still in his nickel samurai costume. He was talking with someone. At first I thought it was the bellboy. I watched the two of them for a while, but then I gave up and went back. I had guests with me that night, and I couldn't make them wait for me. Nothing sounds out of place in Mr. Powers' testimony. And talking with the bellboy is no big deal. If one assumes that the person Mr. Ongard was speaking with was an ordinary bellboy, what are you implying? Well, Mr. Wright, let's have your cross-examination, shall we? Looks like we're in another sticky situation. A trap. Can't you smell it, Phoenix? But for us to find out more, we're just going to have to charge in head first, right? Alright, press everything. The usual. I am so sorry, I'm so sorry, Will. Just doing my job at this point. The defendant's room. Why did you go there? Well, I'm his mentor, like a big brother of sort, and I wanted to say congrats. What's wrong? Why did you stop? Mr. Wright. What is it? You're going to try to trick me into a corner, aren't you? Eh? I know I'm just a poor underpaid action star, but I'm not the killer. No one said you were, Mr. Powers. No, please, don't trick me. Every time you do your lawyer thing, the witness suddenly turns into the bad guy. Every time? Witness. I'll personally talk to the defense at a later time. So for now, please kindly cooperate and continue with your testimony. Sorry. So, you went to the defendant's room, and then? Hey, wait a minute! When and how did I suddenly turn into the bad guy here? Are you sure that was Matt on guard? Yeah, I'm sure. Wasn't wearing the Nicolo Samurai mask then. If that's the case, then he really can't be mistaken. And what was the defendant doing standing in front of his own room? At first? What do you mean by that? Well, he was in a bellboyish uniform and he had a bottle of juice on a tray. Sounds like an ordinary bellboy to me. Yeah, but I didn't think he was a normal bellboy. Then why was that? Why did I think that, Mr. Wright? How am I supposed to know? Sorry, but I can't remember right now. Sorry. Guess I'm going to have to wait patiently on this one. You saw the two of them, the bellboy and defendant, together, correct? Yeah. Bellboy just wanted to say congrats. Now, while you were watching the two of them, did you notice anything strange? You know, I did feel something weird. I think it was because Matt, well, he gave the bellboy a tip. A tip? That's a perfectly normal thing to do. So how long did you watch the two for? Not more than a minute or two, I think. So who are these guests you're talking about? You guys, of course. You and Maya and Little Pearl. I thought it would be really rude since I invited you guys if I disappeared on you. So I went back to my seat pretty soon after seeing Matt in the hallway. It's like squeezing water from a stone. It's probably pointless to press further. Do you remember this incident? Did Mr. Powers leave his seat that night? I don't remember that happening at all. Maya was making such a racket in her hyper state. Ended up focusing on her. I see. In any case, from his story, he probably wasn't gone for very long. Right? Standing there, no samurai costume, talking to someone, thought it was the bellboy. Was this the guy you saw? Okay, no, that... I don't know why I thought that would be a good idea. A few minutes ago you stated, you know, I did feel something weird. I think it was because Matt, well, he gave the bellboy a tip. Could it be that you felt something strange about the tip-giving incident itself? Ah, yeah, that's it! You really know your job. Mr. Edgeworth. Yes, Your Honor. This bellboy, he wasn't an ordinary one, was he? Perhaps we should let the witness tell us. Very well. Mr. Powers, please amend your testimony. You mean about the bellboy, right? Bellboy a tip. So he gave the bellboy a tip. What's so strange about that? No, well, you see, Matt's not a poor penny pincher like me. I was trying to figure out how much it was because the tip really shocked me. How much it was? But that's when something even more surprising happened. The bellboy was putting the tip he got in his pocket. And that's when I got my first good look at the guy's face. I was really shocked. I'm afraid I don't follow at all. Sounds like Mr. Powers was surprised twice by this event. I wonder which of his shocking moments I should ask about. The bellboy's face. What was so shocking about the bellboy's face, Mr. Powers? Well, he wasn't exactly a boy, it was more like an old gramps. I hope you know that discrimination towards old men is a no-no in my court. No, that's not what I meant at all. In the smack middle of the guy's face, there was a line of stitches. A line of stitches? Yeah, and it went straight from the tippy top of his head to the bottom of his chin. Almost like if that thread snapped, all the stuff in his head would come spilling out. He was there, at Ungard's house. He was that butler. What is it, Mr. Wright? Nothing, Your Honor. So that means Ungard was talking with the killer, then. If that factor to be exposed, Ungard would be declared guilty in a blink. Phoenix, you have to play dumb here. Pretend you don't know anything. Yes, Chief. Sure you don't have anything you would like to say, Mr. Wright? What did you say, Your Honor? Nothing, Mr. Wright, nothing. We're just going around and around in circles here. Now then, Mr. Powers, please continue with your testimony. Let's... ask about the money. The defendant is a huge star. He can afford to give generous tips. Wouldn't you agree? Sure. But giving him that much was maybe a little too much, I think. A little too much? Would you please clarify for the court about how much would you say the defendant gave to the bellboy? Honestly, I don't know. I can't even begin to guess. And why is that? Because he gave the bellboy a really, really fat roll of cash. A roll of cash?! Well, how interesting. That certainly was a very generous tip, wasn't it? A very fat roll of cash. I can hardly be called a tip, Your Honor. Just is beginning to look awfully suspicious of us. We gotta keep this going for as long as possible. The defendant's a superstar. That kind of tip is typical fare for people like him. Are you saying that all superstars are super spenders? If I could receive large rolls of cash by simply bringing people things on trays, then why on earth would I stand around here prosecuting? He's got a point. I don't even get paid, let alone rolls of cash for all my hard work. Supposing that roll of cash was not a tip, then what was it? Payment, Your Honor. Payment? Isn't it obvious? For the murder of Doctor? Oh my god. Doctor? I am giving Juan way too much credit there. I meant Mr. Juan Corda. Then the bellboy the witness saw. Yes, he was the assassin. Hold your horses now. Mr. Edgeworth, you don't have any proof of this. Do you? Have I ever been unprepared to support my claims, Your Honor? I have here the card Shelley the Killer left at the scene of the crime. Shelley the Killer. He's the person the police's special investigations team has been chasing for ages. I'm certain the person the witness saw was this very assassin, Shelley the Killer. Really? What's wrong, Mr. Powers? No, nothing. Something just clicked in my head and I think I just figured something out. Oh? Actually, I saw that bullet boy again later on that night. What? Mr. Powers, please testify. Tell us what you saw. Yes, sir. Right away. Well, he did show up and tell Maya, hey, you got a call. But I don't remember if Powers was there when that happened. This time I was in that hallway because I had to go to the bathroom. And that's when that boy I saw earlier came out of the room. Of course, when I say room, I mean one corridor's room. Now that I think about it, bellboy did seem kinda out of place. Yeah, so he had to be the assassin, I'm sure of it. I mean... Thank you very much, that is all we need for now. But I'm not done. There's still more. Let us first establish that the boy... that the bellboy was truly Mr. the Killer. Then we'll see. So the bellboy came out of the victim's room. And if that bellboy really was the assassin, then I think the answer is fairly obvious. That would be correct, Your Honor. Well, Mr. Wright, I believe it's your turn to entertain and make us laugh. This is no laughing matter! Then what time was it? Well, I don't remember. The award ceremony ended around 8 PM, right? And I went to Matt's room pretty soon after that. And then I came back. And then I went to the bathroom. So I guess maybe it was around 8:10 by that time? You're not much for details, are you, Mr. Powers? Sorry. I thought I could maybe catch Matt and say my congrats. Are you sure it was the same bellboy? Honestly, this guy is pretty... It's not hard to miss, especially with the... Yeah. And how could you tell? All the bellboys wear the same uniform after all. But, you see, well, he had those stitches in his face. So I'm sure it was the same guy that was talking with Matt. So which room did the bellboy come out of? The victim's room, huh? Yeah, the one with all the really pretty flowers and teddy bears. It was Juan's room, alright. Words cannot describe how screwed I am. Let's continue with the testimony, shall we? I think about it, that bellboy did seem kinda out of place. So what exactly was so out of place about him? Right. Why the insipid grin? Maybe because I have no idea what damaging thing he's going to say next? Well, the bellboy was empty-handed. Empty-handed? That bellboy was one of those room service people, right? But he wasn't pushing a cart and he wasn't holding a tray either. You'd call that a little strange too, wouldn't you? I agree with that. I agree that it is a bit strange, Mr. Powers. But is it really unusual for a bellboy to be empty-handed? What should I do? Shall I let Mr. Powers' testimony slide, or try to pull a fast one? Well, we do need to keep this going for as long as we possibly can. There's nothing strange or unusual about an empty-handed bellboy. But there really is. There really isn't. If you two are done being school children, bellboys are for room service. There's no reason for them to be empty-handed, ever. Your Honor, I ask that the witness's previous statement be supplemented with this new one. Or supplanted. You're going to do whatever you can to make the bellboy look suspicious? I see. Very well. This court recognizes and grants the prosecution's request. Mr. Powers, if you could amend your testimony, please. Yes, sir. So, you're saying that it's suspicious for him to be empty-handed? Yeah, really suspicious. But I mean, when I first saw that bellboy, he was holding a tray in his hand. Then there was a bottle of juice and a wine glass on it. Juice? What kind of juice was it? Pretty sure it was tomato juice. If we could come up with some sort of reason as to why he would come out empty-handed, some sort of proof, but then I think we can dodge the bullet on this one for now. Proof, huh? Sounds like another job for the court record. It had juice on it. Why he came out empty-handed? He was delivering the juice. Sometimes they just leave the tray there, don't they? Mr. Powers. Yes? You're easily influenced by other people's words, aren't you? As soon as you heard that the bellboy might have been the killer, you got caught up in believing it must be true. But, isn't he really suspicious? He's got all those stitches, and... So? A baseball has stitches. Are you saying all baseballs are suspicious because... Phoenix, what the fuck are you going on about? Well, there's also... I mean, what about him being empty-handed? I would like to ask the court to please take a look here. This is the crime scene. There's a wine glass sitting next to Mr. Corrida's body. The liquid inside this glass is tomato juice. And now, if you were to look at what is on top of the table in the lower right corner here, anyone can clearly see that it is a tray with a bottle of tomato juice on it. The bellboy had just brought this to Mr. Corrida's room. He left the tray in the room, which is why he was empty-handed when he left. But that would mean that the bellboy had seen and left a dead body in the room. Ah, but can you prove that Mr. Corrida was already dead at the time? Mr. Edgeworth. Yes? I blame you for leading me down this... Don't be mean. I'm terribly sorry. What is with him? Why is he laughing? Witness, isn't there one more thing you'd like to share with us? Is there? The bellboy was empty-handed. Or should I say empty-handed? I recall you had something interesting to say about his hands. Oh yeah, I almost forgot. Huh? What? A bellboy. He was wearing gloves. Gloves? Yeah, pitch black leather ones. All the other bellboys don't wear gloves like that, right? The black leather gloves. Perfect for keeping fingerprints from appearing on... There is a spot on my glasses and I'm trying to get it off. It is annoying me. Why didn't you mention them earlier? Sorry, it slipped my mind. Ugh, boy does this make the bellboy look really suspicious. Alright, gotta focus. Can't get lax here. So what if you had gloves? Lots of bellboys wear gloves. Come on, Mr. Wright. That bellboy was wearing black leather ones. So? Look, I know we're trying to keep this going for as long as possible until Gumshoe can find Maya, but you're really, really grasping at straws here, Phoenix. The football is made of leather. Are you saying all footballs are suspicious because they're made of leather? But that man, he received a large roll of cash from the defendant. And then he was seen leaving the crime scene wearing black leather gloves. I don't think that even someone like myself can believe it was just another bellboy. Ugh. It seems that we have finally come to an understanding. Now then, witness, please continue with the rest of your testimony. The rest? Oh, yes, please, tell us more. Okay. After leaving Juan's room, the bellboy went and knocked on Matt's door, just like that. He gave something to the person inside the room. Then the old guy just left without even going into the room. After that, I went to the bathroom and then back to my seat. So the bellboy, after leaving the crime scene, went to the defendant's room. Yeah, kinda saw all that by accident. Some accident? I'd say you saw too much. And all of it was suspicious to high heaven. I think it's safe to say that we can no longer consider this bellboy to be normal. Now then, let's get started, shall we? Mr. Wright, your cross-examination, please. Yes, Your Honor. Is that what you saw while you were busy spying? Excuse me? I may be a poor, underpaid action star, but even I wouldn't stoop to spying. Well, I think the point is, where did you watch all this from, Mr. Powers? Oh, from the door of the bathroom with my left eye, and sort of sneaky spy-like. I knew he was spying. Please, does it really matter if he was doing it over or underhandedly? What did the bellboy do next? That's all I care to know. I said hold it. Okay. That's better. What kind of statement is that? Please elaborate and give us a few more details. Oh, okay. I should probably ask him only one question at a time. Ask about this something. He gave something to this person? Yeah. And what was this something? If I remembered what it was, I wouldn't be calling it as something, would I? But this implies that something was removed from the scene of the crime. Are you sure you really can't remember, Mr. Powers? I think it was something kind of small. This incredibly crucial piece of information. Please try to remember what it was. I'll try. In the meantime, let's talk up another point. Namely, what the bellboy did next. Oh, so after he gave the person inside the room the thing. Let's ask about the person now. About the person inside. So, who took this something the bellboy handed off? Actually, I don't know. What do you mean? I'm sorry, but I only saw the person's arm. Only an arm? Then you're saying you didn't see the person's face? Yeah. I would like to summarize the testimony up to this point, if you don't mind. When the bellboy left the crime scene, he immediately went to the defendant's room. There, he handed a small item of some sort to the person inside. As for the person who received the item, all you could see was the person's arm. Yes, it was just like that. Mr. Edgeworth, is all this really that important? Of course, Your Honor. I think this is of the utmost importance. This is when whatever was removed from the crime scene was handed over to the client. Mr. Powers, please try to remember what it was the bellboy handed off. Well, let's see. I think it was... No. If you remember, please add it to your testimony. Yes, sir. If I saw it again, I can say for sure, but I think it was some sort of wooden statue. A wooden statue. Do we... No? A figurine? Maybe? Yeah, a wooden statue. A wooden bear-shaped figurine. Wrong button. Yes? What was the point of that pregnant pause? Where did that objection come from? Well, speak up. It was me, Your Honor. What is it, Phoenix? I have a feeling that something bad is going to happen once I show this. Mr. Wright, if you have something to say, please spit it out. Yes, Your Honor. Okay, Phoenix, deep breath. Mr. Powers, there's something you saw. Was it this item? Oh, hey, that's it! That's the something! Wow, Mr. Wright, you really figured it out. I recall we found this at Matt Onguard's mansion. At Vendit's house? What does this mean? It's simple, Your Honor. Shelley the Killer assassinated Juan Corrida in his room. And then he stole this wooden bear from the scene of the crime. Then the bear being found in Mr. Onguard's mansion would mean... It goes without saying, Your Honor, that Mr. Onguard is the killer's client. Order, order, order! I said order! Mr. Wright, this is a most unfortunate turn of events for you. Yeah? Sorry, Mia. No, it's alright. Your judgment was sound. Actually, I figured the bear would come up. If not now, then it would have later on. Even if you hadn't shown it to the court, I'm sure your friend Edgeworth would have. Almost forgot that he knew about it too. I think it's clear that there is no need for us to continue this trial. Can't let this happen. I have to do something. There has to be something we've overlooked. Your Honor, a minute, please! Yes, Mr. Wright? There's still a few points left that we haven't fully explored. What are you trying to pull? Oh, well, we can't have that. Alright, Mr. Wright, what questionable point would you like to explore further? Powers' testimony, the person who received the bear itself. It was found... Powers' testimony, there's nothing wrong there. There's nothing I can quote-unquote get him on. The person who received the bear, it ended up in Onguard's manor, so it was either Adrian Andrews, you know, just taking the thing, or it was Matt Onguard, and that was the bear itself. I think it's fairly obvious that the bear itself is very questionable. The bear, Mr. Wright? This was found at Mr. Onguard's mansion. However, Mr. Onguard was arrested at the hotel that night, which means that since the murder occurred, he has not had a chance to go home. Oh. I think Your Honor has already figured out what I'm trying to say. It's not possible that It is... I can fucking read, I swear to Christ. It is not possible that it was Mr. Onguard who took this bear to the mansion. Why, that's very true. We didn't consider that point, Mr. Wright. There was no way time-wise for the defendant to have taken this bear home. Oh. You haven't gotten the best of me yet, Mr. Wright. I remember it clear as day. I remember what you muttered to yourself at Onguard's mansion. We have this area completely surrounded. There's no way for him to escape. I can't believe it. That butler, all this time, he was the killer. The killer and On Guard were working together, so to speak. And the killer was hiding at On Guard's mansion as its butler. What a bold move. The bear figurine was brought back to the On Guard mansion by the killer himself. When it looked like he was about to be arrested, On Guard had him do so. I assume because it would have been bad had the police found it during their investigation. Well, Mr. Wright, you've been quiet for a while now. Well, you were in the middle of talking, so... This is too much. Isn't there anything I could do to attack it all? I have to try. I have to find something else. What will you do now, Mr. Wright? Do you plan to expose a clearly shaky place in Mr. Power's testimony? What? There's still another one? There is indeed, Your Honor. And it's quite questionable point. What are you trying to pull? Oh, well, we can't have that. Alright, Mr. Wright, what questionable point would you like to explore further? So that was useless. Power's testimony? Mr. Power's testimony, of course. Huh? I know that my testimony was kinda shaky, but... Your inanity stupefies me, Mr. Wright. We've already clarified that all questionable points during the cross-examination just now. Wasting time like this, calling the testimony questionable. I'd say it's your head that's questionable here. And smoothly. You are being very persistent today. Guess I can't let it end like this. I know my own personality was just a little questionable. Questionable indeed. But there really are some questionable points I'd like to discuss. What are you trying to pull? We can't have that. The person who received the bear. There was one thing in Mr. Power's testimony that was very unclear. And that's the identity of the person who received the bear. He gave something to the person inside the room. I'm sorry, but I only saw the person's arm. As long as we don't know who it was that took the bear, we can't be sure of— Ah! What is it, Mr. Powers? If you're going to scream like that, at least give us a good reason why. Oh, yeah, sorry. Actually, so I remembered. I remembered who took the bear. Well, really? I mean, I only saw his arm, but the arm. It was the Nickel Samurai's arm, I swear it. You've gotta be kidding! Are you sure of that, Mr. Powers? Yeah, I'm sure it was the Nickel Samurai. Order, order! It looks like you've dug your own grave. Yet again. How many times is that today? I've lost count. So the person who took this little bear was the Nickel Samurai. And as we all know, Matt On Guard is the Nickel Samurai. Thanks to the defense, we made that all clear. We've made that all the clearer. I think we've heard enough. We now know why this bear figurine was at the defendant's mansion, as well as who was it that received the bear from the assassin in his room. Everything has become very clear. The client, who hired the assassin to commit the murder, was Mr. Matt On Guard. I see no reason for this trial to continue. Therefore, I will not hand down my verdict. Thank you, Your Honor, for your understanding. You see, Mr. Wright, you could not win against the truth, could you? I knew it would turn out this way. After all, what Edgeworth has stated is the truth. Any less objections, Mr. Wright? Well, do I? What should I do? Raise an objection. We gotta keep this going for as long as possible. Again, until Maya is saved. I would not understand. There's only one way for me to drag this trial out. The only thing I have left is this one dirty trick. Your Honor, right now we have these two reasons to believe my client is the assassin's client. Reason number 1, he accepted the bear figurine from the assassin. Reason number 2, that very same figurine was found at On Guard Mansion. However, it's possible this is all work of a certain other person. What are you saying? What I'm saying is, it's possible a different person is the killer's real client. The real client? Yes. This is all you have. Now then, Mr. Wright, let's hear your theory. Who do you say is the killer's real client, and therefore the real murderer? Are we gonna... Are we gonna really pin this on Andrews again? Come on. We just established... Fine. Take that! Agent Andrews. Yes, we already know that she tried to frame Matt Onguard for the crime. By wearing a spare nickel samurai costume. Then the nickel samurai's arms that I saw. That could have very well been Miss Andrews. But what about Mr. Onguard? If you'd please recall yesterday's testimony. The defendant was taking a nap during the break period. That's right. Then, finding this figure at Mr. Onguard's mansion? It was a well-laid trap set by Miss Andrews. Mr. Edgeworth, what is your opinion on this? I can't even begin to count the flaws in the defense's logic. Besides which, there is no evidence to support it. However, I can't fully discount its possibility either. What is with this trial? Come on, anyone can tell Onguard did it. I can't believe the defense would go so far as to pin the guilt onto someone else. Yeah, unbelievable. It's not something petty. It's murder of all things. This is to save Maya. This is to save Maya. Even if the whole world turns against me, this is one fight I can't give up on. Order! 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 All disrupted parties will be forced to leave the courtroom. Your Honor. For the benefit of the defense, I am willing to play along with his what-if game. His what-if game, Mr. Edgeworth? The prosecution is prepared to challenge his defense's theory. Mr. Wright, even you must have thought it strange and wondered, why would the criminal want this little wooden bear? That's right. The killer did specially bring that bear to Onguard right away. Why do you ask? Is there something special about it? Absolutely. And I'm sure that once this court knows its significance, the true killer's identity will become crystal clear. Your Honor, the prosecution calls upon a witness who will clear all doubts against Miss Andrews. And who would that be? It's quite simple, Your Honor. Miss Adrian Andrews herself. We're going to cross-examine her again? God, I feel sorry for this woman. You see. Well then, the court will take a short 10-minute recess. The prosecution will prepare its witness in that time. Yes, Your Honor. Oh, boy. Oh, I knew it was a good idea to hold her hostage. Don't you agree, Mr. Lawyer? Am I gonna be arrested for punching this guy? Probably. That would be assault. But I never thought in your desperation you'd try to pin the guilt onto Adrian. I swear this demon will pay. Mr. Nick? Pearls? Where's Mia? I don't know. A really strong power suddenly called her away. A really strong power? Oh, Miss Nick, your phone is... It's from Gumshoe. How's it going? Have you been hanging in there, pal? Yeah, sort of. We just barely found something to latch onto. Whew, that's good, pal. What about you? Anything yet? Have you figured out where the killer and Maya are? We still don't have any leads, but... What? We don't have any more time! If we just had one, even a single clue would be really helpful. I was only able to come this far because I kept thinking to myself, I've got to keep the trial going until Maya's been rescued. And if I just run out of blood this time, is all our hope for naught? A tent. A tent? I could see a circus tent. Mia! It looks like Maya was unconscious until just a few minutes ago. As soon as she woke up, she called for me. So it was Maya that called you away. She's locked in a dusty little room right now. But I could see a circus tent outside the window about 300 feet away. Gumshoe. Is there a circus in town right now? There's only one, pal. The very big circus. Maya is somewhere within a 300-foot radius of the main tent. What? Okay, hold on a sec, pal. Hey, draw a circle on that map. About 300-foot radius from the main tent. Hurry! And I could see a mailbox under the window, just outside. Gumshoe, there's also a mailbox. Okay, what else? What else, Mia? I'm sorry, but it was a very small window. I couldn't see anything else. I felt like I was in an old office building. Maybe the 3rd floor or so. I heard her. Old office building. Good stuff, pal. Okay, just hang in there. Just a little longer, pal. Wish us luck. Good luck. I'll call you later, so don't let your battery die. Okay, pal? Mia, Maya's not hurt, right? She's in a pretty bad state, Phoenix. She's being starved. Gumshoe, please hurry. Looks like we're out of time. You alright, Phoenix? No? It's only a matter of time before Maya's rescued. I can do this. Just have to make this trial last a little longer. Court will now reconvene. The killer, the man who murdered the victim, handed this to his client. From this, one obvious question arises. Why this particular item? I believe the answer to that question will provide us with the name of the real culprit. Now then, the prosecution calls the defendant's manager Adrian Andrews to the stand. Yeah, I know. I'm pretty sure you didn't want to be here either. Currently, the witness is accused of tampering and obstruction of justice. However, you have been called to the witness stand today to ascertain who exactly is guilty of murder. I understand. Very good. Now, have you ever seen this bear before, Miss Andrews? Of course I have. You've seen it before? That's right. It's only natural that the witness has. Miss Andrews, could you please enlighten the court to this bear's secrets? Alright. Why does she... Actually, this is an elaborate puzzle. If you know the correct order, it can be taken apart one piece at a time. Its center is a small cavity with just enough I've turned into Ponyta. At its center is a small cavity with just enough room to store a small item. Because of its complexity, if you don't know the order, you can't open the bear. You really can't tell, but it's a small jewelry box just by looking at it. So this be the container of sorts, isn't it? Yes, looks can be deceiving, wouldn't you agree? Yes, this is superb craftsmanship. Oh, yes, I nearly forgot. You may begin your cross-examination, Mr. Wright. Looks like there really was something in that bear after all. A puzzle. That's right. but it looks like an ordinary figurine. True enough. To people who don't know, I'm sure they would never guess that this was a puzzle. So what kind of puzzle is it exactly? So you can take it apart, and how would one go about doing that? Well, you first turn its tail to the right and then push it in. Oh, yes, I see. After that, the arms and legs are free to move and can be removed. Oh. This is most interesting. Boy and his new toy. It's like he's 5 all over again. Let him have his fun with this, Phoenix. Oh, don't mind me. Go ahead and carry on. I think he's lost. No, he hasn't lost it. So what did you find after you take? So what do you find after you take the puzzle apart? And how do you know about this? I know because I was the one who bought it. Huh? It was a souvenir from when a friend and I went to Switzerland. Then this was a present from you? That's right. It was a puzzle in the shape of a bear, so I thought it would be perfect for one. So it was a present from Miss Andrews. Witness, let's continue with your testimony. Because of its complexity, yeah. So who exactly knew how to solve this puzzle? Only the 2 of us, Juan and myself. It was a souvenir from Switzerland. So I doubt there are that many people with the same bear in this country. But it looks like it could be easily broken. Especially if someone wanted to get at what's inside. Well, it's a toy. But it can never be the same again once it's been broken. Who else knows that this bear is actually a small container or jewelry box? I never told anyone. And as long as Juan never told anyone either, then only the 2 of us knew. 2 of you, huh? Then of course that means Mr. OnGuard didn't know, right? I think this is about all I'm going to get for now. Figurine updated. Only Carta and Andrews knew how to open it. Well, Mr. Wright, I think even you have come to realize that there's one very important fact we have uncovered, and that is this. This bear is actually a jewelry box. Now that we have agreed to this point, there's only one logical question that could come next, and that is, what is inside this box? Well, the judge was having fun. Let him finish. Oh, let him finish opening the puzzle. What's inside? What's in the box? It's not a box. It's a bear. What's in the bear? Oh, shh. I'll keep going. That's right. That's what we're going to find out next. Witness. Yes? You're the only one who can open this. Please. There's a painful silence hanging over the courtroom. All eyes are on Miss Andrews now. She solves the puzzle and tears the bear apart. I accidentally clicked. I did not. I've opened it. Is this what you wanted? What is that? It looks like a note. I don't think we need to guess at what this is and what that is, do we, Mr. Wright? Is that Impax's suicide note? It's the suicide note. The suicide note? The suicide note left by Juan Corrida's former manager, Celeste Impax. Until now, no one knew of its whereabouts. But just as we suspected, it was hidden. Hidden by the victim, Juan Corrida himself. It seems Celeste Impax had very beautiful handwriting. And she just as beautifully signed her own name on the document. This is most definitely the note she left right before she committed suicide. Order! Witness, did you know about this? Yes, I did. I heard all about it from Juan. When I discovered his body, I looked for the bear. I wanted to destroy the note before it became public. But I couldn't find it anywhere, because it had already been taken by the killer. Everything's going at Mr. Edgeworth's pace. So now with the suicide note has been found, what's the next logical question? What's written on the note? That's right. At least, that's what I would think. Now then, I believe it is only appropriate the contents of this note being made known. I can't stop you, can I? I went through so much just to get my hands on it. And I was going to burn it, for her sake. I'm deeply sorry, but I can't allow you to persuade me to stop. Your Honor, if you could please read the contents of the note aloud. Very well. The judge's voice rang loud and clear, silent through the room. The judge's voice rang loud and clear through the deathly silent courtroom. In her note, Celeste Impax had left to us a record of all that had happened to her. About being used and thrown away by On Guard, about being engaged to Corrida and On Guard's role in destroying that, and about how she decided in her despair to end it all. And that's all Miss Impax had to say. There was one thing I would like to say here. The prosecution has no interest in slandering Mr. On Guard. Then what? Our intention, Your Honor, is to establish a motive for murder. Isn't that correct, witness? Yes? On the night of the murder, Juan was going to make the contents of the note public. After the post-ceremony show, he was going to hold a press conference. My word, Matt On Guard values above all else his refreshing like a spring breeze image, which is why he had to stop this note from being made public. At any cost. It's On Guard's fault the woman killed herself. And this time he even went so far as to kill someone to stop her from revealing that. How terrible. What a selfish person. I guess there are slimeball lawyers out there who would defend these creeps too. There's no room for doubt here. Mr. Takeller's client's goal was to obtain the suicide note. And the only person who needed this note that badly is the defendant. Let's not forget that the bear with the note inside was found at the defendant's house. It seems as if we have come to the truth at last. The defendant's motives were entirely selfish. He deserves no sympathy from anyone. How am I supposed to escape from this one? Why the hesitation, Phoenix? Gumshoe hasn't called yet, so you know what you must do. I know. I have to carry on and buy him some more time. Okay. There are 2 deadly pieces of evidence, figurine and the suicide note. Maybe somehow I can find a way out of the situation through one of those? Gavel is already in the judge's hand, Phoenix. Hurry! Suicide note with a figurine. Which one of these should I pursue? Put me on the frickin' spot like this, why don't you? The note?
Objection!
Please wait, Your Honor. Oh man, look at that lawyer. He's still going at it? It's like he doesn't care that he's trying to get a killer off the hook. I think Your Honor believes that Matt On Guard killed him in order to obtain this note. Yes, that is correct. But that seems a little strange. In fact, I think there's a contradiction here. This note was hidden by Mr. Corrida until the night of the murder. If that's the case, I'd say that that Matt On Guard could not have known what was written on the note. Oh, I didn't think of it that way. Exactly. But I did think of it that way, and I thought it was rather strange. No one in the right mind would kill for a note without first knowing what it said. Order! 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 You make a valid point, Mr. Wright. Mr. Edgeworth, what is your opinion? just a flash, but I think I did rather well on this one. Unfortunately, I think he believes differently. I believe a show of appreciation is in order. The defense seems to be in love with wishing more despair upon itself. I would like to direct the court's attention to this. What is that? It's a very small video camera, Your Honor. This type of camera is commonly used as a means of spying. Spying? What the? I thought that spy camera was in my possession. Technically. Matt Ongard and the victim both thought of the other as their biggest rival. They even went so far as to use this type of item to find each other's weaknesses. And? The victim won Cora that was being spied on. His personal life was being watched by none other than Matt Ongard. Order! Order! Mr. Wright. Yes, Your Honor? Don't tell me you knew about your client's spying activities. Well, sort of? Sort of is not an acceptable answer, Mr. Wright. I see you're confused, Mr. Wright. You're probably thinking, but I have the camera that was in the stuffed bear's eye. But this camera that I have is not that same one. Last night, I searched the victim's house on a hunch. Using this. Gumshoe's bug sweeper. By the way, Mr. Wright, the defendant's fingerprints were found on this camera. Matt Ongard's fingerprints were on there? Well, Phoenix, looks like those cameras are hidden all over the place, huh? What am I supposed to say about that evidence? I think this is the end. It's really obvious that Mr. Ongard learned of the suicide note through this. He was watching the victim all along. He got me good this time. I don't have anything to counter that. Hey, now what's that lawyer thinking? Mommy, is that man the bad killer guy? Shush, stop, don't look at him. Wait, he's sweating, it's just so nasty. Phoenix? Yes, Chief? Have you figured out what you're going to do next yet? What I'm going to do next yet? Does running away like a frightened child work? I know it seems like Mr. Edgeworth is very close to putting the lid on this case, but in his eagerness to prove his point, he forgot one very important thing. What is it, Mia? There's a piece of evidence he really should investigate. Something he should investigate? I really hate to see the good prosecutor get scolded for not remembering to look into the item when he had the chance. Why are you speaking in riddles all of a sudden? Alright, I think this time we finally understand everything. Well, Mr. Wright, you don't have any further objections, do you? What is this piece of evidence that Mia's talking about? Can I figure out what it is that still needs to be looked at, or should I let it go? Present the evidence. We need to make sure Maya is... I have an objection, Your Honor. That was about the weakest objection I've ever heard, Mr. Wright.
Objection!
Your Honor, the defense has no intention of letting this go so easily. You're beginning to sound desperate. That's just your imagination, Your Honor. Mr. Edgeworth, this is not like you at all. In your eagerness to prove your point, you've forgotten one very important thing. Hey, isn't that what I just said? So you're telling me that I forgot something. You're so close, Mr. Edgeworth. But there's something you really should examine about this piece of evidence. Is this, most likely.
Take that!
That is this impacts the suicide note, right? Who knows? I mean, sure, the suicide note was found inside this bear. But this bear was in my possession until only a few moments ago. Which means... the handwriting on this suicide note has yet to be analyzed. Oh. So, as to whether this pivotal piece of evidence was really written by Miss Impax or not, that's yet to be even remotely confirmed. Mr. Wright, you can't seriously be suggesting... Mr. Wright! You're saying this suicide note is a fake? Miss Andrews, you were the one who tried to pin this murder on Mr. Ongard. Who's to say you didn't create a fake suicide note and put it into this bear? Dare you!
Objection!
Your Honor, the defense is indiscriminately accusing the witness again. There's no evidence linking the witness to the suicide note whatsoever.
Objection!
But if this is a fake, then the witness is the only person who could have made it. What? Recall the witness's testimony concerning this figurine. The only person other than the victim who could solve this puzzle is the witness herself. And there goes another pair. Miss Andrews, you wrote this note, didn't you? You wrote it so you could use it to frame Matt on guard. I did no such thing.
Objection!
Right. If you're going to pronounce this suicide note a fake, then show this court some evidence to support your theory.
Objection!
Mr. Edgeworth, you were the one who presented the scrap of paper as evidence. That means the burden of proof lies with you, the prosecution. That's enough. Mr. Edgeworth, can you confirm this the handwriting on the suicide note? It is as the defendant has stated, the handwriting has yet to be analyzed. If that's the case, it seems that yet again we have reached a point where a verdict is impossible. That's impossible! This isn't good, Phoenix. Judge is going to carry this trial over one more day. I don't think Maya will physically be able to make it another day. I didn't want to have to do this, but I don't have a choice. I request that both the prosecution and defense further investigate. Handwriting analysis, my butt. That's just the lawyer trying to buy more time. Ongard is guilty. Look, any idiot could tell you that. I think we've reached the end of the line. Yeah, they're... Oh! What is that sound? It's Gumshoe! Hello? Gumshoe? What is with him? What's with that sigh? Where's Maya? What happened to the killer? He got away. What? I'm sorry, pal, I really am. I don't know what to say besides I'm sorry. I wish there was some way I could make it up to you, I really do. Anyway, what's going on? We found his hideout, pal, but the two of them were already gone. This is terrible. I'm going to keep looking for them, pal. Don't you worry. I just need a little more time. But don't tell me we don't have any more. You hear that? They're calling for his head. Mr. Wright, I can't... For us to come this far and... Oh! What is it? Let me talk to Mr. Edgeworth. I can't do that! Mr. Wright, would you please get a hold of yourself? Yes, Your Honor. I'm about to enter these proceedings. You may take your phone calls after. Hold on, Your Honor. Edgeworth, catch!
Take that!
Mr. Edgeworth! Please, you've got to buy us some more time. Court is in session. I'm sorry, Your Honor. You were saying? Mr. Wright, this is a court of law. I'm sorry, Your Honor, but... I'm reluctant to do this, however. It appears that I have no choice but to suspend proceedings until tomorrow. This time I really can't do anything. Court is now adjourned for the day.
Objection!
Please wait, Your Honor. Edgeworth? What is it, Mr. Edgeworth? I humbly request another 30 minutes of Your Honor's time. For what purpose? We can perform the necessary tests on this piece of evidence in that time. But can you really obtain your results in 30 minutes? I believe we can, Your Honor. But wouldn't it be better if we adjourned for the day and then reconvene tomorrow? 30 minutes. Please, Your Honor. That's all I'm asking for. Please, Your Honor. Very well. At the prosecution's request, the court will now take a 30-minute recess. But be advised, I will not allow another recess today. Not sure if this is helping or hurting us. The court will now take its final recess of the day. Bye. Right, well, what's going on with Maya's situation? The killer. It looks like he got away again. 30 minutes? We can't find her in that time. Report. Is that Mr. Edgeworth? We don't have time. Just spit it out. Right. Looks like we just missed them, sir. But the killer left a few things behind by accident in his rush to get away. A few things? Can we use any of them as evidence? Oh, I thought you'd ask, pal. I've got the things he left with me right now and I'm on my way over. Really? That's odd. Any items like that are usually sent to the crime lab first. We don't have time to wait for those guys, sir. When those guys weren't looking, I swiped the stuff and ran. What? Well, I'm not a detective anymore, so I had to. I'm really sorry, sir, but I've got to put the law on hold. I've got to put the law on hold for now. Sounds bad. Hope he doesn't get in too much trouble over this. With my hunk of junk car, I'd say he'll be there in about 20 minutes, sir. Don't worry, I'll be there. Wait for me. Right? Just get here in one piece. I'm on a mission and no one can stop me now, sir. No one. I'm pulling out all the stops and running every red light. Items left by the murder, huh? Maybe there's something among them that would be decisive enough to end this. Hey, what's wrong? Detective Gumshoe, answer me. No one can stop me. Gumshoe? What happened? It sounded like he had an accident. I'm guessing his cell phone broke as well. What was he thinking? We've got to hurry and call for help. We have no idea where he is. His cell phone's broken, and he wasn't driving a patrol car, so no radio either. Also, if we don't get to those items before they do, the police will take possession of them. No! We can't let that happen! Well, if there is a way we can find out where he is, then we stand a chance. Why did Gumshoe have to get into an accident now? Is there any idea to find out exactly where he is at this moment? There has to be a way, right? That's right, there is a way. But how? I'm sure we can find out where Detective Gumshoe is through this. This? Maybe? Oh! Wait a minute! The tracker! The tracker! The tracker! Why are you bringing up Francisca at a time like this? Oh, I see. I'll try to get in contact with her. The chances are slim, but she's all we have. Francisca. Will she even want to help us? Edgeworth. What is it? I don't have any right to judge anyone ever again. I know my client's guilty. But what I'm doing now? I'm pitting the guilt onto someone totally innocent, and using the evidence to do so. It might be my turn to say defense attorney Phoenix Wright chooses death. Right. It doesn't suit someone like you to cry useless tears. Whether you did your job well or not, that can only be seen after the verdict has been decided. Verdict. Is Prosecutor Edgeworth here? Yes, bailiff. There's a phone call for you, sir. They say it was extremely urgent. Probably finished with the handwriting analysis. I have to go take this call. In the meantime, think hard about what it is you must do. Court will now reconvene. I assume both sides are ready. Yes, Your Honor. Yes, Your Honor. But Jesus Christ, you both look dead. I can understand the defense acting like this. However, why do you also seem to be distraught, Mr. Edgeworth? That is... There's nothing, Your Honor. What's wrong with Edgeworth? Looks like something unexpected just happened to him. Now then, Mr. Edgeworth, if you could please tell the court the results of the handwriting analysis on Miss Impact's suicide note. Yes, Your Honor. Unfortunately, we have discovered that this suicide note is a forgery. What? What do you mean, Mr. Edgeworth? This note was not written by Miss Impact herself. It's fake. Order! 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 Mr. Edgeworth, would you care to explain what is going on? If this was not written by Miss Impact, then who wrote it? We would need more time to do a more detailed analysis. However, it appears that the handwriting matches that of the victim, Mr. Juan Corrida. Mr. Corrida? Well. It looks like Miss Impact never left a suicide note after all. She never wrote anything but on guard. However, Your Honor, even though the suicide note is indeed a fake, Mr. Onguard could not have known that, and so the facts remain unchanged. Acting under the assumption that it was real, he had plotted to possess it. That does sound very plausible. Stating that Onguard had no idea that the suicide note was fake. Something seems a little wrong with it. Yeah, the bear. It was only him and it was only Corrida and Andrews that could open it. The defense believes that the theory of the prosecution as stated contradicts testimony. Everything the prosecution has proven up to this point is true. Then it's impossible. Then it's impossible for Mr. Onguard to have known it was fake. Yeah. Wait. Wait! He was spying! He would have seen Corrida write it! What's this little item called again? The video camera, Your Honor. Well, a very small one, but... Oh, that's right, the camera. Kids and your fancy toys nowadays. Mr. Edgeworth, earlier you claimed that Mr. Onguard knew the existence of this note. Because he was spying on the victim, isn't that right? If that were true... then this means Mr. Onguard would have known that the victim had forged the note. So then, the defendant knew the suicide note was fake. And if that's true, then the situation had suddenly changed in a very dramatic way. Exactly, Your Honor. The prosecution's theory as to what Mr. Onguard's motive for murder was, it suddenly disappeared into thin air. But Your Honor, it's not as if Mr. Onguard monitored Mr. Corrida 24 hours a day. Perhaps the victim wrote the note in a place Mr. Onguard didn't know of. Well, right back at you, Mr. Edgeworth. Why don't you show us some proof that the victim made a forgery at an unknown place? Order! 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 Mr. Edgeworth, it looks like this time it is you who has dug his own grave. As I figured. As you figured? As I figured. Came down to this after all. Mr. Edgeworth, you're not making any sense. When I heard the results of the handwriting analysis, I thought this might happen. Question is, what next? What next? If the prosecution can't prove Mr. Onguard's motive through the evidence, then we must prove it from another angle. I agree with you there. Your Honor, the prosecution would like to call witness to the stand at this time. Oh, well, that's fine. However, this witness is a little unusual. Edgeworth's stuttering. This is not like him at all. Unusual. Well, what sort of witness is this person, Mr. Edgeworth? This witness is one who is perfectly fit to answer once and for all the questions of who was it that hired Shelley the killer to commit murder. That's impossible. Who in the... No such person exists who can answer that question with such certainty. Yes, Mr. Edgeworth. Who is this witness? It's... Yes? Go on. Who is it? The man himself. Mr. Shelley the killer. Oh, Mr. the killer. Wait! Shelley the killer? You mean the killer? I mean, the assassin? Yes, Your Honor. He's coming here? To the witness stand? Well, yes, in a manner of speaking. I recognize this is a very unusual circumstance, so I'm asking for your permission. Well, Mr. Wright? Yeah? Is this alright with you? Do I have a choice here? Can't really do much else to drag this trial out. The defense has no objections, Your Honor. I wonder if it really is alright to do this. Very well then. The prosecution calls the witness to the stand. Edgeworth, is there no other way left to us? Didn't he get away? Like, seriously, didn't he get away? Now the witness. Your name and your, occupation, please. Oh. Oh, it's via the transceiver. Very good, sir. My name is Shelley the Killer, and I am a professional assassin. I say! What's going on here? Your Honor? How can you remain so calm? And what is the meaning of this two-way radio? Actually, Your Honor, it was delivered to me just now, and came with a condition. As long as we do not trace its source, Mr. the Killer will testify to this court. So this must be what the urgent phone call he got about was earlier. Oh, no, this will not do. I cannot allow this in my court. First of all, we can't even be sure this is really Mr. the Killer himself. Fair point. Witness, please present some sort of proof that you are, in fact, Shelley the Killer. I understand. Please wait a second. I'm so... Oh, that's Maya! So hungry. Maya! Maya! Voice! Mr. Wright, can you confirm anything from this? The defense has no objections to this person. We're satisfied with that this man is indeed Shelley the Killer. It looks like we've run into yet another unexpected turn of events. Well, it doesn't seem like we have too many choices under these circumstances, so... Now then, witness, there's one thing I would like to confirm before we speak of anything else. And what would that be? At the request of a client, you killed Mr. Juan Corrida. Is this correct? It is as you say. I did indeed kill Mr. Corrida. Now that we have answered that question, let's move on to the name of your client. Very well. This is all just a bad dream. Yes, that's it. A bad dream. He's losing his mind. Shelley the Killer. What's he going to say? There's something I must first state. To an assassin, nothing is more important than the trust between a client and himself. And that is the reason I'm here today on this witness stand. It is my wish that you grasp this concept before I give the name of my client. Mr. Killer seems to be a very clever man. I almost say he seems to be mocking us. While he may appear to be our enemy, Your Honor, Mr. Killer is only stating the truth. He's no hypocrite. He's always stood by this one belief. You mean about this trust between his clients and himself, that thing? Seems to be a level of trust beyond what people like me can comprehend. Well, Mr. Wright, are you ready to cross-examine the witness? Yes, Your Honor. There's no way to know what's coming next, so stay cool and collected, Phoenix.
Hold it!
We can hear anything you have to say later. Can you please just tell us your clients? I don't think you understand your place, Mr. Attorney. I said this is something I must first state. Do you know what the word first means? Sorry. Go on. Well, it appears this is what means you can't badger Mr. Wright. It's only because you don't know about Maya's situation. To an assassin, nothing is more important than the trust of the trust between you and your client. I provide my services in a fast and efficient manner. In exchange, I trust that my clients are discreet about me and my identity. If too many people knew my face, it would be quite troublesome. And that's why you're testifying in this manner. This is the first time one of my clients has ever been accused of murder. I must preserve the killer name so my clients can trust me. But couldn't someone stab you in the back and break your trust? It's never happened before, but if it ever did... Yes? That person wouldn't be my client for very long. They would have certainly... That's enough, please, no more. Very well. It was only a hypothetical anyway. That seems a little strange to me. I mean, you're about to tell us the name of your client. I would think that this would be very bad for them. It doesn't matter to me. This client has already broken the rules and acted outside of their prescribed role. Their role? This person tried to implicate another of the crime in order to save themselves. And this is a trespass that cannot be forgiven. Who gave you the right to be so high and mighty? To the gentleman who spoke just now, excuse me, but would you care to die? No, I didn't say anything. The judge just better watch himself. We understand, so please, tell us the name of your client. I'm afraid I cannot do that. I still have a few things to say before I do. Ugh, it's egomaniacal. It's not good for your health to be so aggravated. You won't live very long if you let everything bother you. Somehow, that coming from an assassin makes it less than comforting. I don't really care about all this extra fluff. Just tell us the name already. Patience. Try to calm down a little. It's important to try and understand his mindset. He seems very steadfast and closed, so you're going to have to work to get him to talk. I'm not his therapist, you know. All he was doing was telling us, hey, it's... Yeah, all he says is like, this is how I do things. I'm sorry, but I was wondering about something you just said. You said that your client had already broken the rules. A person who frames another is the worst kind of human. And that's why you feel you can betray this person? I have no trust relation with a client who can't understand their assigned role. Just my luck. An assassin with a conscience. Who would have figured? Now then, everyone, do you think you can understand my logic? This just keeps getting better and better. If you can't, then I'm afraid we can't proceed. Everyone understands your point, I think. Really. In that case, I believe I'm prepared to disclose the information you seek. You've made it crystal clear that you value trust over all else. I believe we're ready. Excellent. That's new. What is it? Now I can't bring myself to ask the client's name. If you can't ask him, Mr. Wright, then I will. Witness. What is the name of your client who requested the murder of Juan Corda? That person's name is... Adrian Andrews? What? Witness! That's not who you told me it was earlier. Pray tell, what are you talking about, Mr. Prosecutor? I should think I know my own client, and it is Adrian Andrews. What? This can't be. On the phone earlier. What's going on here? My guess is that Mr. DeKiller just stabbed Mr. Edgeworth in the back. Stabbed Edgeworth in the back? I'm sure in order to get an audience with this court, Mr. DeKiller told him a different name. Matt Ongard, perhaps. I knew it. This is outrageous! I was deceived! This witness is telling a very serious lie. But you were the one who summoned this witness! You... Shelley DeKiller! My testimony is the truth. The defendant at the moment is Matt Ongard. Am I correct? All I wish to do is help procure his acquittal. Wow. Well, all of a sudden, it feels like we can actually win this. Yeah. Prosecution has failed to provide a motive and has instead proved that this suicide note, which is a forgery created by the victim. Furthermore, there is a possibility the defendant himself knew it was a fake. But most definitive of all, we have heard from the assassin himself the name of his client. Mr. DeKiller's client who requested the murder was not the defendant at all. No. Though there's evidence, it is obvious to me that means that Mr. Ongard is innocent. I seem to have caused you all a bit of confusion. Please continue with your discussion and call me when you reach the verdict. Bailiff, please bring Miss Adrian Andrews in immediately. What now? With the way this is going, Ongard will be found innocent. This may be our last chance to save Maya. Yeah, but Edgeworth is right. The killer's lying. And Ongard, my client, I know he's guilty. Can I live with myself if I win this? Who would have believed the prosecution's openness would absolve the defendant? Your Honor, the prosecution requests permission to further question the witness. Shelley DeKiller is certainly lying under oath. It wasn't me! Listen, everyone, please! That testimony just now, it was all one big lie! Miss Andrews, suicide note may have been a fake, but that man, Matt, he's the reason Celeste died. And Juan's death, it was all because he got pulled into Matt's twisted world. The testimony just now, you have to believe me. It was a horrible, horrible lie. But Mr. DeKiller himself has testified. He's named you as his client. And it doesn't help that, he has previously said that he is a man of his word. No, it's not true. Also, there's quite a bit of evidence that points to you. The knife and the button, donning the nickel samurai costume. That's... You even have a motive. We know that Miss Celeste Impacts was a large part of your life. You wanted to follow her, and you wanted revenge on the two who hurt her. I would say you have plenty of reasons to want them both dead. No. Mr. Wright! You know the truth. Tell them! Tell them the real story! Who the real killer is! Tell them! Please. Me. Yeah, I know the truth. Mr. Wright. Yes, Your Honor. I believe we have reached the end of this trial. Therefore, I ask the defense for any final words or opinions. I have to decide. Do I take the not guilty verdict and save Maya? Or do I throw this chance away and wait for Gumshoe's new evidence? What am I supposed to do? Wait. Gotta wait. Phoenix. I can't do it, Mia. I can't accept a not guilty. You are a lawyer. I know. But Matt on guard is a killer. A murderer. I can't. I can't let him get away with this. I can't let someone else take the fall. If let Miss Andrews be convicted, then I'm no better than on guard. And even though I don't want to admit it, I have to face the fact that it's because of Edgeworth that I now know the real truth. You could have gotten on guard convicted so many times over. But he never took a single one of those chances. If I take this verdict right now, I'd be betraying his trust. His trust? I never thought about it until now. I trust him. Yes, you do. Mr. Wright, your opinion, please. The defense requests that we be allowed to further question Mr. DeKiller. Am I hearing you correctly, Mr. Wright? Right. But that witness has cleared your client through his testimony. Your job here is done. I'm not done yet. To see through witnesses' lies and find the truth. That is my job, Your Honor. There's still more evidence to look at. And I'm sure that once those pieces arrive here in this very courtroom, a miracle will occur. Very well. The trial will continue. Mr. Edgeworth, please re-establish connection with Mr. DeKiller. Right away, Your Honor. Has the verdict been reached? Before that, we would like to talk with you a little more. About? All you needed from me was the name of my client. What else could you need from me? Need me for? Well, actually, we would like to hear everything you know about this case. That is how things are usually done. What is he talking about? Usually done? But what shall we have him testify about now? Mr. DeKiller, if you don't mind, please testify about your client in more detail. Your legal people and your procedures. Is it any wonder that no one likes to go to court? There are a ton of reasons no one likes to go to court, but... digression. As I've already stated quite a few times, Adrian Andrews is my client. However, one thing I simply cannot overlook is tampering with the scene of the crime. My client did it to frame another for the crime, while pretending to be the first person to discover the body and enter the scene. Adrian Andrews already knew from the very beginning that Juan Corda was dead. But even more appalling is the creation and planting of the knife and that act is what I was referring to when I said my client had broken the rules. So it has to be like, that calling card has to be known it was you. It's the most unexpected turn of events for the, 5th time now? However, this time, everything has finally been revealed.
Objection!
Just a second, Your Honor. Yes, Mr. Edgeworth? We still have the cross-examination to do. But you don't need to question testimony like this. Do you, Mr. Wright? Your Honor, the defense will question the witness. As if I have a choice here. Why? What this witness has said is nothing but beneficial to the defense's case. If you scrutinize the testimony, then... and I'll expose lies in that also beneficial testimony, I suppose. I don't understand what's going on anymore. That makes two of us. What is it, Mr. Wright? If I press him the wrong way, it might raise suspicions on his end. But I have to do something to waste more time. Witness, about requesting a hit. Yes? How much is your fee? I see you're also quite a dark-hearted man, Mr. Attorney. Huh? If you would like to talk business, we can do so after the trial. No! I'm not thinking of hiring Mr. Wright! Yes? You want to kill me. You want me dead, don't you? What? Why would you think something like that? You're guilty. Mr. Phoenix Wright, you are hereby declared guilty. Witness, let's continue. Why did you disclose the name of your client? They are your clients, are they not? I would think that most people wouldn't be able to overlook a person hiring another to kill. If I had a problem with such a thing, I wouldn't be very effective at my job. Yeah. Well, a change in occupation might be good for you. However, I will say this. Even though I'm the one that does the deed, my clients are always the real guilty party. It goes without saying, Mr. DeKiller. You were guilty for committing the murder, your client is guilty for paying you for the murder. And the fate is to live with the knowledge of their guilt on their shoulders. However, my client this time thought that they could run away from their guilt. Are you talking about the button and the knife? Yes, and my business card. Oh, this card. So that no one has to waste their time, including the police. I always make it a point to make things as easy as possible. You try to make things easy? My business card makes it very easy to identify who carried out the service. He's pretty devoted to his work. But to disregard everything, to go and stab the deceased with a knife, and even hide my card from sight, that is something I cannot overlook. It's really hard to tell if he's being truthful or not without him being here. So you're saying most clients wouldn't do such a thing? That is correct. Usually most people try to create an alibi for themselves. If you should use my services, Mr. Attorney, I would suggest you plan for your alibi too. No, I already told you. I have no intention of using your services, ever! Why does he keep looking at me like I'm the one on trial here? From the very beginning. That is correct. From before my client visited the room. All of my clients know precisely what the situation is at all times. I wonder if that's really true. That's odd. Need more appalling creation of planting. So why do you think your client did that? What do you mean by why? Well, fiddling around with the scene of a crime is pretty risky. And why would someone who's requesting a murder go to the crime scene anyway? It is true. I assume it was probably done to frame Mr. OnGuard. If that's the case, then why didn't the person just request that you do it? Sadly, that is not possible. Huh? My job is to kill. That is all. And to leave my business card behind? Naturally. The business card is so my clients may escape blame. To protect them is my duty. Even if they say it's for revenge, setting someone else up to take your fall. And that's all you have to testify. Yes, and I pray that I will never be called to the stand again. Again? As if you plan to continue? I must, as I have yet to find a person to take my place, and become the fourth successor. Actually, how would you like a new life, Mr. Attorney? Excuse me? No, I'm fine, really. Are you really now? I wonder what kind of man the judge thinks I am now. What are you going to do now, Phoenix? All I can do is expose the lies. That's true. However, you realize I'll be very bad for our client, right? I'm so confused. One thing I know for sure is I can't let this trial end yet. Can you explain this then? Wrong statement, I'm guessing? Wrong one. Thank you so much for taking the time to testify, Mr. the Killer. What's the meaning of that attitude? When AJ and Andrews entered the victim's room, your client had no idea that Juan Corda had been murdered. But how do you know that? From this wine glass, Your Honor. The glass? Mr. DeKiller's supposed client thought Mr. Corrida had only fainted, which is why the glass of tomato juice was poured for the victim. But isn't it just part of Adrian Andrews' calculated plan? That's not possible, Your Honor. This glass bears the fingerprints of that person. Had this been planned, they would never have left their fingerprints behind. I see your point. Mr. Edgeworth, what is your opinion? Strangely enough, I had the same exact thought just now. Witness, how do you explain this strange phenomenon? Isn't it a waste of time to ask about such a minor detail? It's not a very important point anyway, correct? I'm afraid you're mistaken. If Adrian Andrews really is your client, as you claim, then your client should have had knowledge of Mr. Corrida's death. If not, then that can only mean that Adrian Andrews was never your client at all. How strange. Yes? Why is it that the attorney has yet to raise an objection at this absurd situation? Phoenix? If the killer figures out what we're up to, we're in real trouble. Yeah, I know. Objection! Mr. Edgeworth, I'm surprised. You know you can't say things like that without any evidence. Sorry. Well, that was an awfully weak objection for the two of you. Anyway, I am positive that there was a contradiction in that testimony. Prosecutor requests further testimony concerning when the request was taken. Very well. Right now I have to buy us more time. While we wait for the items the killer left behind to get here. I just know that the very outcome of this trial lies with those items. This request came to me about a week ago. It was a request for my services on the night of the awards ceremony. We met at a certain bar to discuss and finalize a few matters. That is what occurred. I trust my memory, and I believe I have made no mistakes. I did. Practically that entire sentence. So you physically met your client, huh? That is correct. Meeting one's client is the first step to building trust, in my opinion. I see. Well, Mr. Wright, your cross-examination, please. Hold it! 1 week ago. Are you sure? Yes, I'm quite sure. I, of course, had my own preparations, and I was barely able to finish. When you request my services, Mr. Attorney, I hope you'll keep that in mind. Please, stop. In any case, my client this time had a very specific date and time in mind. A specific date and time? Did you ask why on that specific night? No. I tried to fulfill all the conditions of my client's request. But as for why, I only had my suspicions. Your suspicions, huh? Press further. So what are these suspicions you had? Why did your client request that night? I'm sure it was all for the bear. The bear? My client spoke of it. I'm sure there will be a bear-shaped figurine in one corner of this room. I would like you to retrieve that item for me. Must be talking about the bear puzzle. Inside the figurine was the suicide note, and naturally the victim brought it with him to the hotel room. He was planning to publicly disclose its contents at the press conference, after all. That is correct. And if I had not done the job that night, I would not have known where that bear figurine was. I see. Well, Mr. Wright, was this testimony just now of any importance? Okay. Give me a second. That probably not. What the killer said sounds plausible, but in the end, it's just conjecture. No, Your Honor, I don't think that's very important. Hold it. Witness, please continue. Met at a certain bar to discuss and finalize a few matters. So you physically met turning into fucking Porky Pig over here. So you physically met Adrian Andrews. Of course I did. What was that? What was that brief pause? Witness, I would like for you to give us a few more details. I always meet my clients as a matter of principle. I've never taken a request by telephone or mail. And why is that? That's because I value the trust between a client and myself above all else. And the only way to establish that is to speak to the client while looking them in the eye. Well, Mr. Wright, his testimony... That was not important. Why he meets his client is not important, and that wasn't the point. Witness, please stop sidestepping my questions. What do you mean by that? My question was, did you really meet Adrian Andrews in person? I've already told you, Mr. Wright. I did. It was only through talking with him Excuse? That's when I thought I could trust this person as a client. It's true what they say about talking face to face. This one? Yes. If I heard what I think I heard just now... Ow! Hit the desk. I think I've got him. Your Honor, I believe the testimony just now was of the utmost importance. Really? If that's the case, witness, please include the statement just now in your testimony. Very well. The moment I saw him... It turned out to be a client who couldn't stick to the rules. That's not really what I was supposed to do. I was supposed to do this. Andrews is a woman. I would like to go over this one more time. You met Adrian Andrews at a bar. I think I understand why. Adrian tends to be a male name, more commonly. So, he automatically assumes Adrian Andrews is a dude. You met Adrian Andrews at a bar and took the request at that time. Yes, that is correct. And that's when you thought he was trustworthy. How many times was I repeat myself? Yes, that is correct. I'm sorry. But that is an impossible tale. What? Shelley the Killer. You've never met the real Adrian Andrews. Why would you say that? Because you made one very big slip-up. About her. So what is the issue? What did you say just now? About her? If you'd ever met Adrian Andrews in person, one look would have told you that she's a woman. Oh! Someone better repair that. Order! Order in the court! Mr. Wright, what is the meaning of this? This witness testified to the following. That he always meets face-to-face with his clients when taking their request. But he has never met Adrian Andrews in person. Yes, Your Honor, that's exactly the point. That means Mr. DeKiller's client could not have been Miss Adrian Andrews. And now the transceiver is sweating oil. Mr. Edwards, I understand your logic on this one. However, why would the assassin make such a basic mistake? I believe it has to do with her name, Your Honor. Her name? Yes, Adrian Andrews is, without a doubt, a very androgynous name. Yes, I see. Unlucky for Mr. DeKiller. The entire time he was on the stand, no one had stated Adrian Andrews' gender. So he simply picked the wrong gender to go with. What? What is going on? Shelley DeKiller! This court demands an explanation. I think somehow I must have mixed up this client with another. So does that mean you remember something different now? Yes, of course. Please, if you would allow me to testify once more. I know he's just going to spit out more lies. Very well. This time, please give us the truth and nothing but the truth. Yes, now I remember. I took that request by mail. You just said you don't take requests by phone or mail! Something about the trust? Hello? There have been times when I took a job without having met my client. The request for the murder of Von Corda and 2 or 3 other small things. When I saw the name at the end of the letter, I thought my client to be a man. So you took this job through a letter, even though he said he doesn't do that. He didn't mention anything about a letter earlier in her testimony. No, quite the opposite. Which means he's definitely lying. Be careful, Phoenix. If you break the assassin's testimony completely, it's over for us. No, can't make him suspicious, but I think we're okay. Like, we can do this. As long as he's standing there across from me, no matter how strong of a punch I throw, he'll counter it. Now then, let's begin with the cross-examination. But didn't you just say that you always meet your clients? Yes, I suppose I did say that. However, there were some clients whom a meeting is simply not possible. But didn't you meet your client this time? No, I did not. Oh, come on now. Let's stop with this game of cat and mouse. Using your silkiest voice is not going to work on me. Alright then, just cough it up and confess. Mr. Wright, you can't badger a witness with such harsh words. You're a lawyer, so behave like one and present evidence instead of mindlessly yelling. Now then, do you have any proof that Mr. Killer met with his client? No. No, I don't. And why could you not meet certain clients? Recently, I've been receiving more requests. If I met each and every one, I would lose some nice business opportunities. Nice business opportunities? On top of which, the times have changed. It is now the age of information and computers, correct? Well, I have joined the times, and now take requests via electronic mail. Electronic mail? Do you have to mail that in a specific insulated envelope? No, I'm very sorry. I despise the shortening of words. What I meant by electronic mail is what's commonly referred to as email. Email. A contest of mimicry. Judge, beta parrot, hands down. Anyway, so you took this job without having met your client, and the murder of Von Corda and 2 or 3 other small things. 2 or 3 other things. Yes. And what were these other things? A few of the other things that have nothing to do with this case. What should I do? Should I side with that? It'd be really bad if I pushed these buttons the wrong way and you got mad. Press further. Whether or not they're related to this case is for the court to decide. Mr. Attorney? Yes? Everything I have said from the beginning has been nothing but beneficial to your client. Which is why I wonder what is pushing you to continue with this cross-examination. Could it be that you are planning to betray your own client? I smell the stench of a backstabber. And should you turn out to be the one... Wait. Uh-oh. This is looking really bad. I shouldn't press my luck. Alright, I have to think. Is this worth pursuing? Press further. Witness, this is a very important matter. Please cooperate and tell us what these other jobs your client requested were. If it should be that important, I suppose I don't have much of a choice. The bear figurine. The bear figurine. After the assassination of the target, I was to find that figurine. I was told that this job was just as important as the actual killing. And where was that figurine? It was inside Mr. Corey's suitcase. And then, what did you do next? I handed it over to my client right away. You gave it to your client. Interesting. This information certainly sounds important to me. Witness, please include what you just said. It stated... Bear figurine and gift to Andrews. Not sure if he knew or even cared about what was inside. Shelley the killer. If you had really given the bear to Miss Andrews, then this item should not have been inside it. This item? I see where you're going. Yep, that's where I'm going. Where is everyone going? Do I need to pack a suitcase? Your Honor, please think back to Miss Andrews' testimony. And I was going to burn it, for her sake. Even if for a single minute, this bear had actually been in Miss Andrews' hand. I'm sure she would have taken the suicide note out and burned it. Order, order, order! So that's where you two were going. So by the very fact that the suicide note was still inside the bear, it tells us your client didn't know how to disassemble the puzzle. Which means... It means, Your Honor, that it's impossible for Adrian Andrews to be the client. Gotta repair again. Order! 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 Mr. Phoenix Wright? I'm sure I mentioned this before. How I hate traitors above all else. I think your cross-examination has clearly demonstrated something to me. You wish to break your end of our agreement. No, that's enough. It has your attention and there's only one thing for me to do. Wait, please. Gentlemen, ladies, please excuse me. I have a matter that I must attend to. No, please. Not that. Please wait. Mr. Attorney, bring this trial to a speedy end and I may stay my hand. Otherwise... What in the... Mr. Wright, are you... No, he is not okay. Mr. Ashworth. Yes, Your Honor. I didn't understand this witness outburst just now. Do you think there's a need to hear more of the testimony, or is this enough? Well, we should... Edgeworth, we can't do this. If we keep this up, Maya, she'll... The prosecution... What has come over everyone? Even your prosecution arrests. What is going on around here? Prosecution has no further questions, Your Honor. What? Never thought I'd see the day. This is a most unusual situation. If the prosecution rests with no further questions, then the prosecution has failed to uphold its stance. If that's the case, then even though I'm reluctant, I must believe that Mr. DeKiller's testimony is accurate. That would mean that Shelley DeKiller's client is Adrian Andrews. Mr. Wright. Yes, Your Honor? If I end the trial here, right now, then your client, Matt Ungard, will be declared innocent. And in his place, Adrian Andrews will be charged with murder. Miss Andrews would be charged with murder. The prosecution has no further questions, so we will now hear the defense's final remarks. Bailiff, please bring the defendant, Mr. Matt Ungard, to the stand. Adams from DeKiller's hideout didn't make it in time. We tried as hard as we could, but it looks like our time has run out. I can't believe it. The outcome now lies in your hands. Dude, did the old guy finally decide? To be honest, I can't think of you as a truly innocent and good person. You have done enough evil to drive a woman to suicide. But, at least on the charge of murder, it would appear that you are innocent. So, I guess even the old fuddy-duddy figured me out. Mr. Ungard? What an atrocious lawyer I have, giving his own client up like that. And not refreshing like a spring breeze crap is just as atrocious. Don't you agree? Anyway, get on with it and pronounce me innocent already. Right, Mr. Lawyer? Should I side with justice? Or should I save Maya's life? You'd better get on guard a guilty sentence, okay? But if I did that, Maya will die. What if I say he's innocent? Then Miss Andrews will be charged as the murderer. Do I say he's guilty or not guilty? Either choice I make, someone's life is going to end. I'll hasten what I choose. Now then, Mr. Wright, let's hear the defense's final statements on this matter. If the person who hired the assassin was Adrian Andrews, then your client, Mr. Matt Ungard, is innocent. There's no need to ask, old man. After all, my lawyer is going to say what I want, aren't you? Right? I can't do this, but I have to decide something. I can't count on the evidence to help me anymore. I have to listen to my heart. My client, Matt Ungard, is... Fuck you. We're waiting for your answer, Mr. Wright. Matt Ungard, your client deserves an answer. I'm sorry. Matt Ungard is... Objection! Oh! Von Karma! I've never been happier to see you right now! Francisca Von Karma! What are you doing here? Ow! You see now, don't you, Mr. Phoenix Wright? This is exactly why you should never take your eyes off that scruffy fool. Did you bring them? The final pieces. Do you have them? You should know better than to ask me, Mr. Miles Edgeworth. Von Karma is perfect in every way. The evidence is here in perfect condition. Don't worry about Scruffy. He's fine, and his injuries are minor. All of the items are inside of this. What about the old coat, this is? That's Gumshoe's. I can spot his tattered rags anywhere. I apologize for its ugliness, but there was nothing else to wrap the items in. I fought long and hard this whole trial. All for what is inside that raggedy coat. I'm sure that inside that coat lies a crucial piece of evidence. Your Honor, inside that filthy coat are the defense's final pieces of evidence. Your final evidence? This trial is already over. All that remains is for me to hand down my verdict. I do not believe that any evidence presented now would change the outcome of this trial. What?
Objection!
Your Honor, it is our duty to examine every piece of evidence down to the last. I request that Miss Von Karma be allowed to present these pieces of evidence. I suppose you are right, Mr. Edgeworth. I will grant permission to do so. However, this one obvious rule applies here. If these items do not bring up any new points, then they will not be accepted by this court. Now, Miss Von Karma, if you please. These pieces of evidence are items left by the killer during his escape from the police. It must have been quite a rush. Yes, Your Honor. The killer left 3 pieces of evidence. Somewhere amongst the evidence we're about to see, there'll be something that will turn this whole situation around. Like a miracle. I'm sure of it. That's all we can hope for. The first item is a pistol. Does the killer's pistol have anything to do with this case? No? Technically? Oh. Right. Well, Karma was shot. Does that pistol have any relation to this case? We have yet to perform a ballistics test, so I can't say anything for certain. However, I believe it has something to do with this case. At least with me. That's the pistol that he used to shoot you, isn't it? That's what I believe? Yes. Oh! I kept the bullets they removed from my shoulder as a sort of memento. I'm sure it will be an excellent sample for the test. So that's the pistol that was used to shoot Francisca. It's probably not going to help us very much. The second piece of evidence is this videotape. The killer took that from the on-guard mansion. Definitely question that one. Have you checked the contents of the tape? Unfortunately, there was no time to. Oh yeah. But I would speculate that this tape is very important. Why would you say that? Because he came back to his hideout for it. The killer went back for it? That's right. It looks like he was trying to recover it. He injured 3 of the officers at the site. But somehow it looks like they managed to protect it from the killer. Surely the killer is no ordinary man. The last piece of evidence is this bellboy's uniform. Is that a uniform from the Gatewater Hotel? Was that used during the crime? I'm almost certain it was. There's even a pair of black leather gloves in one of the pockets. There's no doubt about it. The killer was wearing this on the night of the murder. There is one thing I found interesting about this uniform. And what is that? There is a button missing on the uniform. Button? A very unique button. I'm sure if we were ever to recover it, it would provide us with an interesting clue. That is all I have to present, Your Honor. Just as I thought. And what is that, Your Honor? I'm sure were we under normal circumstances, these items from Shelley the Killer's hideout would be very important clues. Oh boy. However, our question is not who did the killing. It's who the client is. Yes, that's correct. And these 3 items do not tell us anything about that. Thank you for your hard work, Ms. Von Karma. You may step down now. Wait, Your Honor. Please, allow me to examine this new evidence. Overruled. This court already has all the evidence it needs to hand down a verdict. Wonderful. Absolutely splendid. I hate this bastard. This judge is such a brilliant man, isn't he? Is this the end? Phoenix? I knew it. There's no such thing as a miracle in this world, is there? I think you're wrong. I think they do exist. But you have to make that miracle happen. You've come this far. You can't give up now. But no matter how you think about it, it's... Try. For my sake. Just think about it for a second. There are two ways out of this situation for us. Two? The first? Make Angard wish from the bottom of his soul for a guilty verdict. Well, that ain't happening. Huh? The killer will always place his client's wishes first. If Angard himself wishes to be convicted, then he will let his hostage go. That may be true, but that's asking me to do the impossible. The second way? Force the killer to end his contract with Angard. If the killer were to no longer think of Angard as his client, then he would let Maya go. Mia, that's even more impossible! He's a man who values his duty towards his clients above all else. I know both of these seem like impossible feats at first. But if you couldn't make either one happen, it would truly be a miracle. The bigger problem is, the judge has already said he doesn't need any more evidence. Pieces he was just shown. He's not accepting them. Phoenix, think things through from the other side. Isn't that what has always worked for us? The other side? Wait, does she mean... You mean to turn things around? Phoenix, the judge says he doesn't need evidence. If that's the case, then who does need it? And who does need it? The person who needs the evidence? The defense, prosecution, and the judge. We've seen all the pieces of evidence. And that's how we've come to know the truth. But there's one person who has yet to see them all. And that person does not know the truth. That truth. It may be what will bring about the miracle in the end. There were no objections this time, correct? Now then, I will pronounce my verdict. Why don't we all respectfully sit back and listen, kids? Objection! I've already told you, Mr. Wright. This court does not need any more evidence. I'm not saying that it is us that needs the evidence, Your Honor. Then, you want to show the evidence to that person? Yes, Your Honor. Please, Your Honor. Mr. Wright, for you to ask with such passion, I will grant you one chance. One chance. Please show your evidence to who you think is the right person. That's impossible. To turn the situation around in one try. One try. That is all I would permit. I have to try to remember. Everything that has happened up to this point. Think, Phoenix, think! There must be a way to save Maya while taking Angard down at the same time. Now then, Mr. Wright, let's not waste any more time. That videotape's gonna have blackmail on it. Blackmail that Angard wanted to keep. Who? The killer. I see. And now, tell this court what one piece of evidence you would like to show this person. Well, what do you think, Mr. Edgeworth? I think there's some merit in showing this evidence to that witness. Bailiff, please bring in the transceiver from earlier. All right. Looks like I managed to convince him. Maya, she's okay, right? Didn't I tell you to concern yourself with bringing about a speedy end to this trial? Now, if I understand correctly, you wish to show me one piece of evidence. Yes, one is all I need. I have here a videotape. It was found at your hideout. I heard you injured 3 officers in your attempt to get this back. And that was most regrettable. However, it was an order from my client. I was told to protect that videotape. I thought so. I'm afraid I seem to have failed in that regard. Do you know what the contents of this tape is? I was sternly told by my client not to watch it, so I have absolutely no idea. Actually, you are on this tape. Me. There was a video camera hidden at the crime scene. Your actions were being recorded. What? Is that true, Mr. Wright? Who was it that planted a camera? Well, the only person who could have placed a camera at the scene of the crime would be your client, naturally. That was Agent Andrews. Be quiet and listen, Your Honor. Yes, sir. Your client specified a place and time for you, isn't that right? Yes. That was so they could film you. I had no idea. Mr. Wright, why would my client do such a thing? I would like to know why. Why did Matt Ongard film the crime scene? The reason why he did this is my ticket out of this whole mess. There's only one reason why your client would secretly film the crime scene. They wanted blackmail on you. Your client once told me something very interesting. We were talking about you, and this is what they said. But I'm no weakling. I don't believe anyone. Least of all assassins. Oh, come now, Mr. Wright. Assassins aren't above blackmail. Yes, that's where the video comes in. With that, I can keep him at bay, and even blackmail him if I want. Your client didn't trust you at all. They were thinking of using this video to blackmail you. What do you have to say to that, Shelley the Killer? It looks like I was being deceived from the very beginning. Yes, by a natural. That's the kind of person they are. Your client is a person who only thinks and plots of how to use the people around them to protect themselves from any and all dangers that may arise. That is the true nature of your client. I have one question for the witness. Yes? You told us one thing numerous times during your testimony. You said you detest traitors most of all. Yes, that's right. But what if that traitor was your own client? What would you do then? That's obvious. I would break our contract in that case. And then, that client would become my next target. For the honor of the killer name, even if it takes an eternity, I would follow that person to the ends of the earth to exact my punishment. Either way, Matt's dead. I see. That's all I wanted to know. So the traitor becomes the killer's next target. I get it. This is how we'll turn this case around. Mr. Wright. Yes? My contract with my client is over as of now. I seem to have a new job on my hands. I will now return to you your precious item. What the? I'm not an item! I thought I'd never see you again. Oh, thank goodness. This trial appears to have come to its conclusion. However, I'm sort of... I don't quite know what just happened there with the client and the witness and... Miss Von Karma, where did that... She always has you in her sights. Now, I do believe it's time to finally hand down a verdict. You don't look so good. Mr. On Guard. It looks like somehow you got just what you wanted. You'll finally receive the acquittal you wanted so badly. You should be happy. But before that, I would like to make one final statement. Sometime in the near future, one very betrayed assassin may appear before you. Needless to say, that man is very good at what he does. I'm sure you would understand what I mean if you watched the video. Help me. Now then, Your Honor, the verdict, if you please. Is it alright with you, Mr. Wright? We have finally reached the end of a very long battle. Whether he's convicted or acquitted, there's no escape for him now. Go on, Phoenix. Plead whichever way your heart tells you. Right, Chief. Guilty. Matt, on guard. Even though I'm a lawyer, I cannot make your crime disappear. I think a guilty verdict is appropriate here. Me, my wonderful self, guilty. Even if you got an acquittal, the instant you set foot outside of the detention center, your life would be in danger. No matter which way you look at it, you can't run away from your crime anymore. Okay, look, I hate the bastard, but I think we should get him a nurse when he gets to jail. Maybe put him. Actually, no. Yeah, forget the nurse. Put him in a straitjacket and suicide watch. As always, it looks like we have uncovered the truth. I don't remember you helping out much in this. Mr. Ashworth, how is Matt on guard? I've left Miss Von Karma in charge of his incarceration. I'm sure he's getting a full-course meal of whip leather right about now. Very good. That was a close one, wasn't it, witness? Yes. I plan to pay my debt to society for my own crime, Your Honor. The first time I was called to the witness stand during this trial, all I felt was despair. She must be talking about the time Edgeworth really went after her. I guess she's trying to forgive him for what he did. This witness, how should I put this? She has an illness. If you're going to say you would choose death, that is no concern to me. But after that, when I was alone at the detention center, that's the first time I really saw myself for who I am. And today, when the two of you used your combined strength to convict Matt, I felt like I had finally been saved. Wow, this is the first time I've ever seen her smile. I'm really happy that you two were in charge of this case. I really don't know how to express how I feel at this moment. This is the first time I felt comfortable with myself, with who I am. Thank you so much, everyone. It looks like we resolved everything at last. As for myself, there are still a few things I'm confused about. But everyone seems to be in good spirits, and that is good enough for me. That is all. This court is adjourned. You were great out there, Phoenix. What I did out there was right, wasn't it? This is the first time you've not gotten your client off. You got them a guilty verdict this time. But you have to look past all of that, to what's really important. You now realize that there is something more than just getting a not guilty, right? Yes, I understand now. Phoenix, think back for a second. Think to the moments before Miss Von Karma arrived with the final pieces of evidence. Think about the incredible decision you had to make. Now then, Mr. Wright, let's hear the defense's final statements on this matter. Can't count on the evidence to help me anymore. I have to listen to my heart. Should I side with justice? Or should I save Maya's life? My client, Matt Ongard, is he guilty? or is he not guilty? Those were your choices, then. And your answer? Your answer spoke to what being a lawyer means to you. Right. Edgeworth! I have good news. Maya's now safe in police custody. Really? Sorry about that. You're telling us the truth, right, Mr. Edgeworth? Yes, she's quite safe. She's on her way here as we speak in the patrol car. Mr. Maya, Mr. Maya, safe! You did it! You did it, Mr. Nick! Ow! She punches deceptively hard for a kid. I believed in you. I kept saying to myself, Mr. Nick will save her. Mr. Nick will save her. And now she's crying. Thanks. Oh. What's wrong? Miss Von Karma. About earlier. Thanks. Ow! Why are you still smiling, Mr. Phoenix Wright? You lost! Your perfect record has now been crushed. And yet, you are still happy? I don't think you'll ever understand, Miss Von Karma. How dare you! Don't worry. She may in time. After all, I was like that myself until a year ago. Edgeworth? For my own personal victories, and for guilty verdicts. I used every dirty trick in the book, so my win record remained spotless. But a man appeared and stood fast against that selfish me. I fought him in my usual manner, tasted my first defeat. I felt like I'd lost everything because of that. And then... yeah, it was my turn to sit in the defendant's chair. And I was saved by that person I called my enemy. I couldn't forgive myself for all that had happened, so I left the prosecutor's office. And I left that note. Prosecutor Miles Edgeworth chooses death. As well you should have. A prosecutor who has shamed himself with defeat should crawl into a hole and die. That was not what happened. After I left the prosecutor's office, I finally came to realize something. And it was in that moment of clarity that everything began to change. What foolish nonsense. The prosecutors use anything we can to attack the defendant. But every time we did so, no matter how desperate the situation, instead of giving up like most people, that man rose strong with his undying faith. And then, before I knew it, I began to trust in that man as well. What? You trusted your enemy? Doesn't matter how many underhanded tricks a person uses. The truth will always find a way to make itself known. The only thing we can do is to fight with the knowledge we hold and everything we have. Erasing the paradoxes one by one. It's never easy. We claw and scratch for every inch. But we'll always eventually reach that one single truth. This I promise you. Truth? Yes. Sorry about that. That was concerning dinner. Yes, that's the reason why prosecutors and defense attorneys exist. But I'm sure you knew that already, didn't you, Wright? That's why you couldn't forgive me. This man who went into hiding. Isn't that right? This man who only had his sights set on victory. Who ran away into the night. Is Mr. Edgeworth right, Mr. Nick? You really let me down. When you disappeared, I felt betrayed. The reason I decided to become a lawyer to begin with was because I believed in the things you said to me. All those years ago. And you betrayed your own words. That's why, 1 year ago, I made up my mind. I decided that the Miles Edgeworth I knew had died. At least, that's what I told myself. You pathetic fool! Miss Von Karma? I don't want to hear the wretched whimpering of a disgraced loser. If Von Karma is someone who is destined to be perfect, Miles Edgeworth, you are no longer worthy. You are no longer worthy of being a Von Karma. And neither am I. It's over. It's all over. Francisca threw something on the ground just now. This is an electromagnetic receiver. Isn't that the thing she used to track Detective Gumshoe? I'll return this to the precinct later. Or something else. Ah! Isn't that Miss Von Karma's whip? I'll never step foot in another courtroom again. I'm sure that's what she's saying by this action. You should keep this right. Okay. Nick! Maya! Mystic Maya! Mystic Maya! Oh, Nick, I knew you would come through. You got on guard convicted like I knew you would. And on top of that, you even rescued me. Well, of course I did. You know I would never desert you. We sure pressed our luck this trial. You're really lucky to be standing here. Whatever. Look, it's over, okay? Besides, if I did croak, I'll just come back and haunt you like the bad ghost through Pearly. Is it really that easy to do something like that? Thanks a lot, Nick. Don't mention it. Maya. Oh, Mr. Edgeworth! I'm relieved you're alright. Hey, looks like you've made some real progress, Mr. Edgeworth. Well, I suppose I'm a little different from who I was a year ago. And someone is certainly very hungry. Alright! I think it's time we got out of this depressing place. Huh? Where are we going? Food, Nick, food! Grub! Chow! I'm starved! I'm so hungry even you look a nice juicy burger on a bun to me, Nick. You think I look like a burger? I'm a prime rib at least. Come with us, Mr. Edgeworth, please! If you insist. Alright. Alright, so how about we hit up our usual burger joint? Don't be silly, Nick. This case messed up that awesome evening and got in the way of my gourmet food. So I've decided we have to make it up by having another feast. Another feast? Come on, Nick, food! Well, you're gonna go broke. As if you were, like, kind of broken up already. Hey, pal. Sorry to keep you guys waiting. Gumshoe, you alright? Yeah, but I'm really embarrassed. I didn't think I would hit a telephone pole of all things. A telephone pole? Then it wasn't a red light that got him. You did it again, city boy! I felt like my dear old heart was going to give out on me, and I ain't joking. Yeah, it was more exciting than the very last episode of Steel Samurai. Thanks. Now look here, Mr. Snooty Prosecutor. Don't you reckon you bullied Mr. Rat too hard? If you don't stop being a lot nice to him, he just might kick it. Tonight even. I'll keep that in mind. Well, come on now. Everyone's gather round. Y'all are gonna get your picture taken by a genuine professional photographer. Looks like Lotta bought herself a new camera. Well, at least we can put this messy case behind us now. Come on. Tonight's all about eating, so let's go chow down, pal. Amen to that, pal! Amen! You know, when you think about it, you were the one who saved the day, Detective. Me? You really think so? He's right. If it wasn't for the 3 items you took, I think this trial would have had a very different ending. Ah, well, you know, it's... Huh? Wait. That's odd. When I ran off with the things from the killer's hideout, I was sure I took 4 things in total, sir. What? 4? Yeah, I'm sure I put one of those items in my coat pocket. There was a 4th item? Oh, come on, y'all, it's over. But boy, I tell you, you really are something else. Between getting accused of murder and getting kidnapped, never a dull moment with you, huh? You think? Why does she look so happy about that? But being shut away for 2 whole days. Aren't you scared? Yeah, it was really scary. I felt so hopeless. So to keep my mind off things, I drew a picture. Sounds like I had a rough gal. So, where's this picture of yours? Yeah, I want to see it. I want to see Mystic Maya's picture. You know, I don't know where it went. Aww, that's too bad. Well, it's alright. It wasn't anything important anyway. Sure is nice to see them both smiling again. What is it, Edgeworth? This thing is picking something up. That's Miss Von Carmel's receiver! Thanks to her, I had the most awful experience of my life, sir. I can't believe she stuck a tracking device on me. That's odd. Even though you're standing right here, the tracking device seems to be in a different location. Oh, it's probably busted or something, sir. Well, it doesn't matter. I'm afraid it's about time for me to excuse myself. I still have some work to do. Huh? But Mr. Edgeworth, you haven't even eaten anything yet! And you've eaten way too much, you glutton. I had fun tonight. Now, if you'll excuse me. Wait. What? I just want to say thanks, Edgeworth. You really saved me out there. If anyone should be saying thanks, it should be me, right? I feel like words alone aren't enough here. I wonder if there's anything I can give him to express how I feel. What's this? Thank you. It's all thanks to you two. You and her. You don't need to thank me. I was only doing my job. Looks like Mr. Edgeworth has left, Mr. Nick. Hey, Mystic Maya? Yes, Pearly? I guess you two can go back to being lovey-dovey, right? You and Mr. Nick, I mean. Pearly? You cut it out already? You're embarrassing me. Anyway. So, who's paying for this lovely dinner party? As if you need to ask. Everyone say thank you to Nick! Yep, I knew it. You're going broke. Huh? Oh, yeah. I'm kinda at the point where I can't even buy instant noodles, pal. So I kinda already put your name on the bill. Huh? Huh? Yeah, I got me a situation just like that myself. There's this camera shop in this hotel, see? And I just bought myself this good old beauty here. It better be anyhow for 3,000. Actually, I reckon you bought it for me since it's on your terminal. Isn't that great, Mr. Nick? Yeah, Nick. Why do I suddenly feel like screaming? Oh, you don't need the whole bag now, you hear? Yeah, pal. Time to let it all out. This is going to be the first time I hear the real you. Go on. It's been a while since I heard you say it. I've been busy being a hostage and all. Alright then. If you say so. Oh. Alright. That was Ace Attorney 2. We have one more game. You really came through for me, Nick. I had to hide that letter, but I knew you'd find it. I really feel like I've been living on the edge lately. I mean, I was caved dead 3 times now. Pretty cool, huh? I feel like a pro. We've got one more Ace Attorney game before we actually finish this Let's Play.
so happy that you could save Mystic Maya, Mr. Nick. And I'm so happy for the two of you. Speaking of which, I think this hotel is a popular place for honeymoons. So, if I sort of need reservations for the two of you, just in case. So, oh, Pearly.
Well, looks like I'm back on the force again. Mr. Edgeworth had a long talk with the chief, and he got me reinstated for my sake. I heard he said things like letting that one go is bad for all of society. I knew it. Crashing headlong into everything is the only way to live, pal. Just make sure you don't crash headlong into death. Hey! I, Mackie Bird, am retiring from this uniform as of today, sir. I'm going to be a waitress from now on. And bring smiles and joy to people who come by the restaurant, sir. I hope you'll stop by sometime, Mr. Wright. Why do you need to be here? That girl, you know, I haven't seen her around. Which girl? The whipped girl. Okay, Von Karma. Yeah, no, that's a good thing for both your sakes. Oh, man. Gonna need to go through and cut out any long pauses from when I was trying to think. It's time to begin our quest of world circus domination. And let the world know I plan to make a fabulous flight in Zimbabwe. Hey Max, what do you think Zimbabwe is like? Do you think there are castles made of cake? And bunnies who can talk? I think if there were any talking bunnies, even they won't laugh at most jokes. God, this whole thing ended up taking me 3 hours to complete. Like, I'm looking at the time and we're at 2:56 right now. I'm ready. There's no way these just gonna fall on deaf ears. God, I knew I have to all write down. Prepare for the Hallelujah chorus. Say something, will you? You're supposed to start this off. Get on with it. What's this? Drat! It's just an ordinary electric razor. Oh. Making me edgy. Oh, I hope we do. There she goes again. I never want to see her again, ever. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do a proper fade out on these because of these. I appreciate everything you and Mr. Edward did for me from the bottom of my heart. Oh, that's right. I received a letter from Miss Von Karma. She said that after I get out, I should feel free to consult her about anything at all. I'm really thankful to have met everyone. They've done this for 2 games. Insert, like, little things. And yeah. It's become difficult for me in this country as of late. As such, I will take a short leave of absence. If you would like to request my services, please be sure to visit my homepage. May we both be blessed with longevity. Oh, no, it's broken for good this time. Executive producer Shinji Mikami? I just noticed that! Was that in the first game too? Shinji Mikami's been involved in these. Cool. Where are you going, Francisca? How did you know I was here? With this?
That's...
I heard you were planting things on a certain person. Things like tracking devices in his coat, for example.
That's just like you. I only planted it there because he was always wearing it. This filthy, drab coat of his. I don't know how it ended up in my luggage. But it's going into the trash, I promise you that.
Oh, that's right.
Speaking of that man, he told me something very interesting.
I ran off with the things from the killer's hideout. I was sure I took 4 things in total, sir.
4 things?
It seems he put the last one in his coat pocket.
He put it in here. It doesn't matter anymore. The case is already over.
What are you going to do now?
That's none of your business.
Are you running away?
Shut up! You don't understand a thing. You can't possibly understand what it means to be Manfred von Karma's daughter. Franziska. So many expectations from everyone around me. Expectations I must fulfill. I'm expected to win no matter what. And failure? Such a thing is not an option for me. My father was a genius. There's no doubt about that. But me, I'm no genius. I've always known that. But I had to be one. I had to.
You may not be a genius like your father, but you are a prosecutor. You have been and always will be.
No, I'm not. Not anymore. I've even thrown my whip away.
Speaking of that, Wright gave me this to hold on to.
Right.
You knew something like this would happen, didn't you? I'm going to say this again. We prosecutors did not fight for personal honor or pride. I hope you'll think deeply about what you should be striking down with that whip.
You haven't changed a bit. You've always left me alone and walked on ahead without me. Miles Edgeworth, I've always hated you. And then, finally, my chance to take my revenge on you has arrived. If I could win against that man, I could make Phoenix Wright bow down in defeat. Then this girl you left behind would have risen higher than you. That was supposed to be my revenge.
I see.
You know, I can't do it. I can't change who I am. I can't throw away everything I've been until today.
I believe you can. Just like how Adrian Andrews did.
Adrian Andrews?
You were going to use her during the trial, right? But you were dependent on your father by using his tactics. Isn't that right? Today, you chased after me, after I'd left you behind all these years. And that's why we're standing here now, side by side. But I have no intention of stopping. If you say you're going to quit your walk down the prosecutor's path, then this is where we part ways, Franziska von Karma.
I am Franziska von Karma. Don't think I'm going to walk in your shadow forever. Our battle begins now. You had better prepare yourself, Miles Edgeworth. Phoenix Wright. One day, someday, I'm sure we'll meet again in battle. Until then, this last piece of evidence that never made it to you, I'll take good care of this 4th piece. So I can give it to you when at last we meet again. Aww.
Maya drew on one of his business cards. Oh. Well, all right then. Yeah, I don't think I'm ever going to be able to do and my usual outro when I get to the end of this, because that's 2 games that they've done this kind of credits for. It's like yeah, I'm not really gonna be able to do my usual thing when I end an LP. So we'll be starting. Where is it? Here we are. We'll be starting Ace Attorney 3 next time. Trials and Tribulations. The final game in this trilogy. I'm so glad I decided to make this one of my weeklies, because oh my god. So, sorry for the really long video. This is not 4 hours, like that one episode of Final Fantasy XII. It will take a while to render, though. Because I think that one took about, like, 8 hours to render? I think? Off the top of my head. So, I'm gonna end the episode now before we get to that before I get to that point again. I'll see you guys in the next one. We'll be starting Ace Attorney 3. Till then, I'm signing off.